every weekend I'm making these waffles. Well, my daughter's having a bunch of friends over, so I think I've got like 12 kids in the house at this point. About 5 o'clock, and I need to bust out the waffle maker, but before I go making like 50 waffles, I got to give this thing an upgrade. Follow along with me on this waffle maker mod. There's a lot of stuff I'll be showing that's relevant to HVAC and just, you know, really nice tips and tricks. Follow me on Discord, check me out on Patreon, check out all those links I put in the description all the time. There's tons of great stuff in there. Please drop me a like, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate all of you all, and let's get into it. I love this waffle maker. Absolute tank. Made thousands of waffles. Okay. The problem is that a waffle can take anywhere from 2.5 minutes, 5 minutes. It's pretty unpredictable, and all you've got to go on is that little teeny light there. When this light is on, it means the element is on. Let's look at that. And why am I talking about waffles? Because these are the best waffles, and I'm going to get to show some stuff like how to solder and things like that. These are Kodiak waffles, by the way, so you can get an idea of what's in them. Very low fat, high protein. Let's look at this circuit. I've got a snap disc here. You can see this is high temperature insulation. Anytime you see this, it's to protect wires from a heating element. I've got a snap disc here, so we have power coming in. And what happens is when you pour the batter in, it cools the plates because you got a bunch of water evaporating between these plates. It's the same reason you can't solder if you've got water in a pipe. So this thing keeps heating until all that water evaporates, and then these plates start to get hot. So this snap disc opens, and then we've no longer got power to our little neon bulb. Now what I'm going to do is tap into probably here, but we just have to make sure that we use a low current bulb in this. Some kind of LED, because these don't look like thick wires. Now I do care which wire is which, so we're going to find that out now. On a USA plug, there's no polarity. Okay. So if you use an LED bulb, you might have to make sure that it doesn't have a metal body. Oh, jeez. Because this is a non-polarized plug. Yeah, there's some super shitty LED lights where this will have continuity to this. You do not want to ever buy those, by the way. Because, if you get your polarity switched up, you're screwed. Okay. Now, this is the way I like to store my rosin flux. Little fingernail bottle. Put some silicone paste on the threads. Really makes it a lot easier to get off. I need to reapply some silicone to this one. It's starting to get stiff. You want to melt some solder onto your iron so that you're creating what's called a solder bridge. And that's just so that the soldering iron is a little too big a connection for this iron. I need a gun. You can see I can't get it hot enough for this solder to really flow. This is what I need right here. I use 10 gauge wire. That's 85 millimeters long. This is the size hex. I just get used to writing stuff like that on tools, so I don't have to guess every time. But when you take the OEM Weller tip out and you put this in there, it heats up basically instantly. I love this thing for doing heavy work. If I had to buy one soldering iron for HVAC, it would probably be this one. The Milwaukee is great because it's portable, but this is probably going to be more affordable. Most places in residential and stuff and commercial, you can get to an outlet, but you can see, boom. This thing can solder, I think I've soldered 12 or 3 12 gauges together with it. Now, what we're going to do is take what's called flush cutters, and what these do is cut your wire and stuff flush. You see that's flat, so it's not sharp like this end here. This is the scrap piece will be sharp, and the piece it leaves behind is dull. So we're going to trim off the little hairs here so that they don't poke through our heat shrink. Now, let's do the next one. And if you notice that you end up getting these coming off a connection, a lot of times it means you need to get the connection hotter so that solder is not, it's more liquidous, so it's not able to make like a bridge. You'll watch here as I heat this up, that'll go away. Making a liar out of myself. Let me show you something else that flux does. Watch this. See that? It changes the surface tension of the solder itself, so that's one advantage to flux. Oh, I made a big old rookie mistake there. I should have had my heat shrink over both of these wires at the same time, so that's a bummer. All I'm gonna do is pull these spades and use some bigger heat shrink and just leave this right where it sits. Whenever you undo spades, you need to pinch them normally in the back. If you pinch them in the front, they can be hard to get back on, but especially older spades, that they'll get loose. Don't ever take a spade out without retensioning it. Now I've got this fiberglass reinforced plastic, which is pretty brittle. This is another thing I like side cutters for, is cutting out plastic. That old piece is just gonna crack out. Yeah. I mean, you know, and this is getting old too. Now I'm gonna use this heat gun. The reason I'm zip tying this is to keep it from pulling out. Just hold everything tight together. This is the recipe I use here for these waffles. These are the parts, so whatever amount of oil you put in, times it by that to get your water, by that to get your mix. Of course, you can do the math. A lot of times you're starting with mix first, but for a KitchenAid, this is pretty much what you want to give you the max amount of waffles. You can tell I have a big family. 975 grams of powder, 1.4 liters of water, 120 grams of oil. You just need something to eat, Aaron. I'm getting it. We've got our full bowl of mix here. I'm going to turn on the vent fan, turn on the waffle maker. You can see this light is going to be shining through the whole basement, so no matter where I am, I'll be able to see it. There's my vent fan. Now, since the plates cool down, this light's going to come back on. And then when that light goes off, again, I know the waffle's done. Light just went out and I had absolutely no problem noticing it. I can see that anywhere in my basement. Now we've got the perfect waffle. Okay, only 20 more of those to go. And that right there is a stack of 45 waffles. Perfect for a Saturday morning. Breakfast of champions right there. I had a little extra protein by putting peanut butter on them, non-fat Greek yogurt, maple syrup or honey or whatever. Love these things.